Hello and welcome back everyone. So we're going to be working on another flower pot. This one is going to take a lot of mica powder painting. First we're going to flip it inside out, get it all set and ready. And then we're going to speed up the process of painting all the details of each rosebud and all the leaves. Alright, so this is going to be the color palette that we're going to be using. Neons. Enjoy! And now it's all painted. We have flipped it back inside out. And I only can pray that those colors will all show up. We're going to use all this resin and some glitter. I already mixed my resin. And this glitter is actually some of the glitter I got from Temu. I got a good assorted amount. And I did a video of a review of that order. It was in my last video I posted actually. And that looks like cotton candy. Heat it up a little bit before we pour it. We're going to fill up this bad boy with as much resin as possible. And if I have extra left over, you know I don't waste resin. That is going to go into the dish that the flower pot will sit in. And I'm sorry guys, I didn't realize my hand was covering the pour. But thank you hospital for the blue gloves. Look, they actually fit my hand. Alright, so this is the first cup. It's pretty much emptied. That filled the bad boy up. We're going to go for the rest that's in the second cup. And we're going to pour that, of course, in here. I don't use all of it because I started seeing that it was starting to get too big. And then I saw these bubbles popping, which is also always a sign that there's going to be bubbles in your mold later. I made a mistake of not fully going in and like pouring open the sides and running the heat gun through before adding more. In the future, you kind of want to do that in between the pours, to just run your heat gun over or open the sides a bit and try to run your heat gun around it. It'll save you the horrors of a whole bunch of bubbles. Unless you're like me sometimes and just don't care about the extra bubbles. But it turns out pretty. I promise you. I promise you. Okay? Alright, so I was just making sure that there wasn't any extra room that's needed. Just making sure that all the resin is going in on the side. So using a popsicle stick and pushing the sides of the mold to the side just to make sure everything is filling in. And it looks like so far so good. A little bit of spillage, nothing we can't handle. And now on to filling up our little coaster that we're going to use to sit our pot on. So I had enough pretty much just to fill this small coaster. This coaster doesn't take a lot of resin, thank goodness. But we're going to use the little bit that I have left over, scrape it all out of both of the resin cups that I use. And then, of course, we're going to spread it all over and make sure that each crevice, each part of the mold is full. If you got this Sophie and Toffee mold, let me know below. I love this mold. It was from their Ohio series. Well, it wasn't even a series. It was just a themed box. It's one, I believe it was their Pixie box is where I got this one from. And I love the little reflections of the resin that's popping up. But once again, we're just moving it around, making sure that each spot is actually filled. And then heat gun. Now this is what I'm talking about. I should have opened up the sides of the larger mold and ran the heat gun in there by holding it back open with a popsicle stick. But it is what it is. So this is the next day. I think about 2 hours before the full 24-hour set. So this mold was still just a tiny bit bendy, and that's because I was demolding it 2 hours before the 24-hour set time. But sometimes stuff cures really quick and hardens quickly, and sometimes they don't. In this case, the little one didn't cure right away, which cracks me up because it's tinier. You would think it would, but it still is okay. By the time I finished this video, it was pretty solid, which cracks me up also. This bad boy, thicker and bigger, was completely solid. Like, I will never understand resin and how it works sometimes. But he was ready to go about almost 5 hours earlier. But I was just waiting for the smaller tray to finish. And this, of course, pops out easily and beautifully with no problem. And all that hard work of putting that purple in there, and look at that. You can't even see the purple. Hurt my feelings. But those are some pretty pinks. There's some 2 yellowish green roses. That is slightly purple, but I know that it's not purple. It's okay. But it really turned out pretty. I was amazed at the colors and how they stayed. I think I will probably just go with regular mica powders later on if I do another one, just to test run it. I wasn't sure how it was going to show up with all the glittering pink, which I'm quite sure also changed those colors of the mica powder. So, but look at it. It's pretty and it sparkles. And the mold is fine. Perfect and ready to go. I didn't have to clean it or anything. It's because you basically want to powder and paint the mica powder on and blow it as you go. Just blow off extra mica powder dust. So now we're outside. I'm sorry. Well, we're outside and I just wanted you guys to see it in the light, in the sunlight. Okay. Just so you can see how it looks, how beautiful it is. I still have to drill holes on the side so that the water can come out. I don't believe any planter should not have holes in it. Your plants need to breathe. They don't want to drown in the water. So this is the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye.